Hi everyone, my name is Nick, and today we're going to do another unboxing video from Gulley Greenhouse. It's a rather rainy and quiet morning here in Philadelphia. I am just relaxing, burning some incense, when I got a message on my phone that I have a package downstairs, and it's this lovely box of plants from Gulley Greenhouse. So we're not going to waste any time and just go ahead and get inside. So we did an unboxing with Gulley Greenhouse earlier this year where we received a box of some of their plugs that they sell on their website. A plug basically being the step before you receive a potted 4-inch plant. So it's a soilless baby plant that is as young as can be. It's what the greenhouses will normally receive. Plant up in a 4 or 6-inch pot and grow it out before they sell it to you or ship it off to a retailer to sell to you. So that's what they had in the last video. I'm not entirely sure what's going to be in this box. They said that they're sending me a mixture of plants that are from mature cuttings and also plants that are grown from tissue culture. So we're going to touch upon each of those, I guess, as we get there. But I really don't know what's inside this box except for one thing, which we will talk about when we get there. It's going to be a little bit of an experiment, apparently, but yeah. Right off the bat, we have all of the plant care things that we will go through as we go through this box, as well as some stickers that they sent me. Thank you so much. But we have this box just full of packing paper pieces, which, you know, I always love it when places ship the plants very nicely. And we're gonna make a little bit of a mess here. I'm gonna try to keep all of this mess off camera as much as possible, but let's go ahead and get inside this box. So as you can see, we have a nice layer of plants on top. I don't even know how many they sent me. I just know about one of these plants here, which I'm not gonna talk about first. I'm gonna save it for the middle. But let's just go ahead and grab one of these to get started. So I'm gonna move this over, carefully unroll this. Let's see what we have here. Oh, this looks like a tiny little philodendron. Just going through our list of plants here. Okay, so this one is what they have listed as a gold violin philodendron, the Philodendron bipennifolium Aurea. Oh, wow, that's a very exciting houseplant. So let me go ahead and hold this up for you guys a little closer to see. So a Philodendron bipennifolium is commonly referred to as the horsehead philodendron. So while this is a very young plant and of course still needs to be grown out, I believe this is one of the ones that they have grown from tissue culture. So tissue culture does not mean that this plant was taken from a cutting, but instead means that it was grown from a single cell, like it's a brand new cell that has grown into actual plants, which is a process that they do in the labs. I really am not that knowledgeable on the subject. I'm sure there's other people out there, but it's a really great way to be able to grow some of these rare house plants and get them more widely available to the public, which is amazing. But this is going to be one that's really fun to watch grow out because I really enjoy my Philodendron bipennifolium, my plain green one, but I also just really have a soft spot for some of these lemon lime philodendrons because they really do have such an impact on your home. A lot of our plants are just plain green, and so these neon ones really do stand out in the home. So while this is very young, I'm going to have to make sure I give this some very close attention, make sure I give it a lot of humidity to kind of simulate the care that it would be getting as it's being grown out in the greenhouse. So perhaps I'll grow this inside some sort of enclosure or with a glass cloche on top of it, but we'll get there when we get there. We got a bunch more plants to open in today's video. So I'm just gonna put this little one here. Maybe you guys can see it, I don't know, but it's very cute. All right, we have another one, another mystery one. They do a very good job at packaging these house plants. And I like getting my plants smaller because it just means that they're easy to ship and they're much more rewarding to watch grow out. Oh, wow. This one's gorgeous. So this is, let's get into our pile here. Make sure I get the name correct. This is the variegated hartley philodendron. So perhaps this is a philodendron hederaceum or scandens variegata. Now they told me when they were messaging me about these plants that some of these are grown from tissue culture, like I said. So those are ones that are grown from brand new cells. And there are also ones that are grown from mature cuttings. So this could be one of the ones that's grown from mature cuttings. I might be assuming before I get digging too deep here in the pot, but this is such a fun house plant. This is one that is seldom available in the trade, which is kind of funny to me because, you know, a variegated hartley philodendron kind of rubs me the way of a marble queen pothos, and you can walk into practically any houseplant store and find a marble queen pothos, but for some reason, these variegated hartley philodendrons are much more difficult to find. So this is a really exciting plant. Wow, it looks like there's at least at least a couple different vines in here, which pretty often when you buy a plant like this, you're just gonna get one little piece of it in the pot if you're buying them from just like random sellers on like a Facebook marketplace or something. But this is, I know this is just a little 2-inch pot here, but this is a rather full 2-inch pot, and I can see a couple different growth tips. There's one right here, there's another one right here. So not gonna get too handsy with this plant at the moment, but I can see that there's at least 2 cuttings in this pot, which is a lot more than you would typically get. Wow, off to a really good start. Although I am still getting a little messy, but that's inevitable when you're opening a box of plants. In fact, I would say it's half of the fun. Okay, so we're gonna open up this one next. And this is the only one that I was aware of that I was being sent before receiving this box of plants. And this is one that I know that Gulley Greenhouse is very excited about. It's also a bit of a mystery. So this, according to Gulley Greenhouse, and the people that they're buying it from more so, is a Monstera obliqua. Now, I know what everyone's gonna say. There's no way that's a Monstera obliqua. That is such a rare houseplant, blah, 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 all of that stuff. Gulley Greenhouse is aware of that. Trust me. They were telling me many, many times, we don't know if it is for sure, it's what it's being sold at, but apparently this is a Monstera obliqua that's grown from tissue culture. So that's why they sent me a little thing here, Monstera obliqua tissue culture, to make sure that I am aware. It's this one, so this is gonna be an experiment. So I don't know if this is one that I'm pretty sure this is one that they're not selling on their website right now because it's an experiment. They wanted to send it out to a couple people, grow it out themselves to make sure it is what it is because, like I was saying, and what probably a lot of you were thinking, there's no way that's a Monstera obliqua. We're gonna find out. It's an experiment. We're gonna have a lot of fun with it. So stay tuned with this experiment. I'm gonna be taking very, very good care of this plant, as good care of this as I possibly can, because this is one that I wanna do very good justice for Gulley Greenhouse and the experiment. So I'm really excited about finding out the whole mystery behind this tissue culture obliqua. We're gonna find out together, but I really don't have much more to say about this other than that they did give me a care card for it as well, which I will put on screen. But yeah, it's going to be one that I know I'm gonna have to give a little bit more higher humidity than most of my other Monsteras if this is a true obliqua. So stay tuned to find out. It's gonna be a fun little experiment. Wow, it is really cute. It does look very much like an adansonii, which I know is what obliqua looks like, but it's grown from tissue culture, which means it's very young, so still has a ways to go before it reaches its fullest potential. So we got at least 3 more in here. Oh goodness, okay, this one looks familiar to me because it's one of my favorite houseplants that I grow in my home if I am correct. So this is a Philodendron red emerald. This is one that I absolutely love. This is a climbing type of philodendron. The leaves get very long. This is definitely one of the ones that they're growing from mature cuttings. And this is a very nice cutting of Philodendron red emerald, I must say. I'm really happy to receive this because I was literally just looking at my philodendron the other day and I was like, I kind of want to cut it back to make another cutting of it, but I don't want to cut it back because it looks so good. So here we are, manifesting, but this is such a fun houseplant. It's super easy to grow. It's the type of philodendron that's going to thrive in the interior spaces of your home. So I've always grown this one on like a moss pole at least, but when I moved to my current apartment, I decided to stake it up on a trellis because it was outgrowing a 5-foot moss pole. So now it's growing up to my ceiling. I'll include some footage of it, of course, but really such an incredible philodendron. And it's just one that you don't typically see when you walk into houseplant stores. Not the most incredibly rare houseplant, but it is one that is just so phenomenal. Highly, highly recommend. You're gonna be thrilled with how quickly it grows up to your ceiling because I've been very, very thrilled with growing this houseplant. Pretty lackadaisical with the watering. I know that I've needed to water mine for probably like 5 days now. Every morning I wake up, I've been looking at it like, I need to water you today. And then I just get sidetracked and I forget. But maybe this will remind me to go ahead and go water my plant after this, but wow, this is such a generous cutting. Already probably like 7-8 inches tall if we're including this leaf here. It's probably up about 10 inches. So a really, really generous cutting here. Really, really happy to see this plant sold, especially in a nice small pot like that with such a generous cutting. So this is an actual Monstera adansonii. Let's see which variety it is. Okay, so this is what they have as the Monstera and Sonya variety Laniata. But this is just your not necessarily classic Monstera and Sonya. It does, of course, have a very similar appearance to some of the ones that you're going to see at the store, but I think this is just a different variety that is out there on the market that it's a little bit more exciting, got a little bit more character to the leaves than some of the ones that are a little bit more common that have a little bit more narrow leaves. So I kind of prefer this variety, I will say, over than some of the other narrow ones. So I'm also very happy to see that they have this one. And once again, it looks like it's at least 2 cuttings in this pot. So pretty nice. Usually when you get 2-inch pots, as I was saying earlier, you usually only get 1 cutting in the pot, which not that I would expect any more than that, but I'm always thrilled when it's more than that. So a Gulley greenhouse pulling through. I'm not sure if I said already, which I should have for disclaimer reasons, but I did receive all of these houseplants for free, as is what typically happens when I do these houseplant videos, but I'm not being paid anything extra. I'm just receiving the plants for free. So I can say whatever I want. This is not a paid review. I guess in a way, I am receiving a product, but you guys know what I'm saying. Okay, so we have 1 more to go through the day. I'm pretty sure. Yes, okay. Oh, this is such a little cutie. So this is a new one that's been popping up on the market. This is, I'm pretty sure, let's just double check before I say it out loud. Yeah, so this is a Rhaphidophora decursiva. So these have been popping up on the market locally in my area this year, which I've been really happy about because typically it was just the Rhaphidophora tetrasperma that was available, but I really think that the Rhaphidophora decursiva is a pretty cool plant. It is much slower growing in comparison to the Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, which I will say that has that going for it. But this is a plant that I think this one right here, because it's so young, isn't going to do justice as the mature plant specimens, as those get these leaves that are very like palm frond-like and serrated. What does it say? The dragon tail plant. That's a good way. It looks like a dragon tail, so it looks really, really cool. I'm not really going to be doing it justice with my description, but this is one that I've grown in my home for a little while now, and it's been a very reliable house plant. Slow growing, just like I said, but very, very reliable. This is definitely one of the ones that they grew up from tissue culture. You can kind of tell from just how little and baby the leaves are at first, but as they grow out, they become a literal identical plant as the mother that the cells came from. So probably gonna have to do a little bit more research on all of that jazz myself. But yeah, a really, really solid unboxing from Gulley Greenhouse today. Just to recap all of these houseplants, we have this Rhaphidophora decursiva, the dragon tail plant they call it, this Monstera obliqua, going to be an experiment that we're doing for a little while now. We'll see what happens. You guys can feel however you want about this. I'm sure there's going to be some of you going off about this, but it's an experiment. Like I said, Gulley Greenhouse is aware. You do not have to tell them twice. We have this Philodendron hederaceum variegata, or the variegated hartley philodendron. We have this Philodendron bipennifolium Aurea. Was that what it was? I want to get this right. Did I actually already lose this card? I've done nothing. Okay, Philodendron bipennifolium Aurea, yes. Okay, so the lemon lime version of the Philodendron bipennifolium, or horsehead philodendron. This is a really, really cool one that I'm really excited to grow out. The Monstera and Sonya variation Laniata, as well as this Philodendron red emerald. So some really incredible plants. A nice little aroid unboxing today. Some really exciting ones for the aroid collectors. So be sure to check out Gulley Greenhouse. I will leave the link in the description. As I mentioned, the Monstera obliqua is an experiment, so that's not going to be available on their website. But from what they were saying, I'm pretty sure that all of these other ones are going to be available, and I'm sure maybe one day the Monstera obliqua will be available. So just stay tuned to figure out what's going on with that. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you don't already, follow me on Instagram at phillyfoliage, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Have a great day.